Hollywood is in a state of disaster, okay? They are facing some serious issues now that the writer strikes are over and they are struggling to finish up the actor strikes. But now we're hearing that streaming's post-content strike contraction is coming and there are going to be writers fighting over work. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. So I wanted to start off with this Variety article. It says running a streaming service is expensive and the amount of revenue that can be gained is limited. On the cost side, the streaming itself is expensive and so is the production of movies and TV shows. Nearly every streaming service has spent billions on producing its own original content. And the reason is fierce competition with other streaming services and with traditional TV for consumers' favor, and ultra low interest rates that made debt cheap. Now, I do not feel bad for these companies at all who are spending billions of dollars on new original content. The point for streaming services in the first place was to pay for a limited amount of them, but get a large amount of content. But prices have been skyrocketing lately. There's also rumors circulating right now that in just a couple of months, Netflix is going to be raising their prices again. So I can't really feel bad. Oh, boo-hoo, you're spending billions of dollars, but you're also making a massive amount of money. Yes, some projects do not make the money back, but at the same time, you're still making money. I cannot feel bad for you. But it says, meanwhile, on the revenue side, while total streaming video subscriber numbers do increase, the days of heady additions are over and growth rates are now just much more moderate. But the result of all of this is a knives-out competition in the face of skyrocketing costs, limited revenues, and mounting losses. As an aside, that's also why the writers and actors strikes couldn't have come at a worse time. Strikers pointed to billions of dollars made in revenue by the big streamers. However, those streamers can't turn a profit. And this is why I never feel bad for the Netflixes, for the Disneys, because they are still making billions and billions of dollars. And yeah, you have to spend money in order to make it, and they're spending money on the worst products possible. Look at Amazon, for instance. Nobody wants a modernized Wheel of Time. Nobody wants a modernized Lord of the Rings project. They're not creating good content, but they're hiring people for the jobs that are amateurs and people for the jobs that are not actually worried about making good content. They're worried about what is the message in this? What kind of message can I push with the content I'm creating? Because a lot of these creatives, and I use that term loosely, are activists. That's all they really care about at the end of the day. So you have a plethora of issues going on. But yeah, I mean, these companies are spending billions of dollars, but they're also making billions of dollars. There are projects that lose more than others, and that is really where the losses start to mount. But at the same time, it's not like they're making absolutely nothing. It says services are now trying to come out on top in this streaming deathmatch by increasing revenue while cutting costs in the hope of finally hitting pay dirt. On the income side, streamers are trying to increase revenue by selling more subscriptions and by selling them more expensively. This is so infuriating as a consumer. We just heard the rumors that Netflix is going to be raising their prices again. You cannot expect people to constantly pay for these price increases. I mean, I'm sorry, there's so many subscription services at this point. Most of them don't give you the content that their price, that they want when it comes to a subscription price, and overall it is just not worth it. It says so far most streamers have not reduced spending on creating original content, save for Hulu and YouTube, which stopped production altogether in early 2022, instead relying completely on creator content. But the writing is on the wall, and we may see a race to the bottom in which content gets worse and worse. The problem with this argument is that content already is worse and worse. While yes, some projects look really flashy, the writing is bad. The costumes are bad. The sets are bad. There are still severe issues with so many series that are coming out, and some projects look really good, don't get me wrong, but then you have in there the Rings of Powers, the Wheels of Times that take these beloved properties, they milk the name for all it's worth, but then the content actually releases and it's a pile of shit. Nobody wants a modernized Wheel of Time or a modernized Lord of the Rings. And that's just the way that it goes. The only way they can magically change the course of the industry is to, first of all, yes, quality over quantity, reduce the amount of content they're creating, but raise the quality of it. And by doing that, you would have to, first of all, fire basically all of the writers in Hollywood. I'm sorry, Hollywood is just not creating enough good content at this point to warrant how many people and the level of people that they have. Okay, they are just not creating good content right now, and they need to get rid of those people. We have heard that these, Hollywood writers and producers, basically the woke diversity hires, how they are going to be out of jobs under the new WGA deal, and they are going to be fighting for work, is what we're hearing, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It means that they have to show how passionate they are for certain jobs, and may the best man win. I mean, that's the way that I view it. The person who is most qualified for the job should get it. Your gender or your skin color should have absolutely nothing to do with that. But we know that in current day Hollywood, it does. They are, again, only hiring people that they think are going to, help the industry move forward. And of course, companies want to be able to say, oh, we hired a black female director or a black male director, and they want to be able to virtue signal. Do I think that it really is helping them at all? No, clearly it's not. And they really are only pushing fans away by hiring, untalented people for the jobs. But yeah, I mean, like I even talked about a few days ago in another video, but Hollywood screenwriter explained how woke diversity hires will be out of jobs under the new WGA deal. I really can't feel bad hearing that these people are going to have to, fight over their positions and fight to create content, because most of them don't even deserve to be touching these nostalgic, beloved franchises and IPs, and they're creating awful content like She-Hulk. She is a perfect example on screen of what not to create and what fans do not want. I think that it is going to take a lot of time for Hollywood to magically change. A lot of companies are saying things like, oh, we're going to be focusing on quality over quantity. We're going to be cutting down the amount of content that we're creating, but they also clearly have plans in place right now. So I think it is going to be a while until they get through those projects and we really start seeing that. We actually start finding out if they're just lying like they usually do or not. Only time will tell. But yes, now we are hearing streaming's post-strike content contraction is coming. There's going to be a drastic change in the amount of content created, the quality of content created, and most importantly, the people creating said content behind the scenes. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.